Hi, everyone. It's Marie Benner-Rhoades again, and I'm glad to be with you to share another of my favorite children's books. This week is Easter week, and so I wanted to share one of my favorite children's book Bibles and a story that goes along with it to share the Easter story. This storybook Bible is called Children of God, and it's written by Archbishop Desmond Tutu. He retells the stories in the Bible, or some of them, in his own words. One of my favorite things about this book is that there are so many illustrators. There's a different illustrator for every page. Well, some of them do one or two pictures in the book, and they come from all over the world. When I was a little girl, all the pictures I saw of Jesus, he had white skin. But as I grew older, I started to think, Jesus probably didn't have white skin. The stories that are told about him tell us and help us believe that he had probably brown or black skin. And in this storybook Bible, the artists use different colors to represent Jesus. So he has different color skin in each picture. In this picture, his skin looks brown. And in our first story today, which is drawn by an artist, E.B. Lewis from the United States, Jesus has black skin. This first story is about Jesus' Last Supper with the disciples. If you're Church of the Brethren, you might know this story as what we call the Love Feast. And this year, some of us don't get to do Love Feast together with our churches, but there are exciting new ways to do Love Feast just from home and with your family. So here's this story. Desmond Tutu does a little caption and said, God invites us into his life of love, joy, and peace. And this story in the Bible is found in the book of Matthew in chapter 26. Jesus wanted to celebrate Passover and share a meal with his disciples so he could say goodbye. By that time, many people looked up to Jesus as a great leader. He made some of the priests and Roman rulers very jealous. Jesus knew that they wanted to arrest him and that his life was in danger. Jesus knew it was time for him to return to the Father. As they all sat around the table, he picked up a loaf of bread. After thanking God, Jesus broke the bread and passed it around to each one of them. This bread is my body, he said. Then he took the cup of wine again. He thanked God and passed it around to his friends. This is my blood, he said. I am pouring it out for you. Whenever you break bread or drink wine like this, remember me and remember that someday God's dream of everyone sharing and caring, loving and laughing will come true. On the bottom of each page, Desmond Tutu has a little prayer. And the prayer for this story says, Dear God, thank you for making me part of your dream. And so the second book that I want to share before we get to the other two stories in this book is another one by Desmond Tutu. And this one's for younger children, but it's called God's Dream. He explores what he means when he says that Jesus wants us to be part of God's dream. And this artist is named Le Yuen Pham, and she's from Vietnam. She also draws pictures in this children's storybook Bible. So let's learn about God's dream. Dear child of God, what do you dream about in your loveliest dreams? Do you dream about flying high or rainbows reaching across the sky? Do you dream about being free to do what your heart desires? Or about being treated like a full person no matter how young you might be? Do you know what God dreams about? If you close your eyes and look with your heart, I am sure, dear child, that you will find out. Do you ever do that? Do you ever close your eyes when you're trying to dream or think about something? Let's do it now with a deep breath, okay? God dreams about people sharing. God dreams about people caring. God dreams that we reach out and hold one another's hands and play one another's games and laugh with one another's hearts. But God does not force us to be friends or to love one another. You see what's happening in this picture? Dear child of God, it does happen that we get angry and hurt one another, and soon we start to feel sad and so very alone. No one looks very happy in this picture, do they? Mm-hmm. Sometimes we cry, and God cries with us. But when we say we're sorry and forgive one another, we wipe away our tears and God's tears too. Each of us carries a piece of God's heart within us. And when we love one another, the pieces of God's heart are made whole. God dreams that every one of us will see that we are all brothers and sisters. Yes, even you and me, even if we have different mommies and daddies or live in different faraway lands. Even if we speak different languages or have different ways of talking to God. Even if we have different eyes or different skin. Even if you are taller and I am smaller. Even if your nose is little and mine is large. Dear child of God, do you know how to make God's dream come true? It is really quite easy. As easy as sharing, loving, caring. We heard some of those words in the Storybook Bible. As easy as holding, playing, and laughing. As easy as knowing we are all family because we are all God's children. Will you help God's dream come true? Let me tell you a secret. God smiles like a rainbow when you do. Now let's hear the rest of the Easter story. The next picture, which is here, is drawn by Luva Bogan, and she's from Russia and the United States. Right there's her picture. This one says, God suffers for us. And it comes from the book of Matthew, chapters 26 and 27. After Jesus' Last Supper with his disciples, which we just read about, they went out to the Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus stayed awake, praying alone. Suddenly, soldiers surrounded them and arrested Jesus. They accused him of trying to become king. At his trial, the Roman ruler, Pontius Pilate, asked, "Are you the king of the Jews?" "My kingdom is not of this world," answered Jesus. "Set him free," said Pilate. "This man has done nothing wrong." But some of the people were angry. "He called himself a king," they shouted. "Crucify him." To please the crowd, Pilate ordered the soldiers to beat Jesus and then to kill him. They whipped him and made fun of him. Pretending he was a king, they put a crown of thorns on his head and a red cloak around him. Then they made him carry a heavy wooden cross to a hill outside the city. They nailed Jesus to the cross. His mother Mary and several other women wept at his feet and stayed with him until the very end. Then Jesus prayed to God one last time before he died. "Father, forgive them, for they do not understand your dream." And then the prayer says, "Dear God, help me to forgive just as Jesus forgave." And this next part of the story is the story of Easter morning. This picture is drawn by Beatrice Vidal, and she is from Argentina. God raises Jesus from the dead. This comes from Luke 24 and John 20. Those are 2 books in the Bible as well. 2 days after Jesus died, Mary and several other women went to the tomb where he had been buried. They were shocked to see that the stone had covered the opening had been rolled away. They looked inside, and Jesus' body was gone. 2 angels in dazzling clothes said, "Why are you looking for Jesus here? Jesus is alive. Go tell the others." The women rushed to tell the disciples. At first, no one believed them. A little while later, the disciples gathered to talk about what had happened, and suddenly Jesus stood in front of them. "Peace be with you," Jesus said. Do you see him here? The disciples were so frightened they clutched each other and trembled. But Jesus said, "Don't be afraid. It is me. Look at my hands and my feet. Touch me." But they still could not believe that Jesus was alive. "Give me a piece of fish," Jesus said. He took the fish and ate it, and his followers were convinced. Jesus really was alive and back with them again. They were so happy. They clapped and laughed their hands in joy. Do you remember how laughing is part of God's dream? And then the prayer here says, "Dear God, help me to see that Jesus lives." There are a lot more stories in this Storybook Bible, and I hope that you get to hear many of them. And this week, as you celebrate Easter, I hope that you can think about God's dream and how God's dream comes true in the Easter story, especially in the laughter and the sharing and the caring that is part of that story. Happy Easter, everyone.